Do
Just
that.
the little black head cam, cropped.
That's cool. All right,
How you
cool.
doing?
I'm good, man. Bobby, thank you for coming on, man. Thank you for
Oh, my pleasure. I'm glad
taking the
we,
time.
glad we made.
Yeah, yeah. After a week of reschedules or whatever, and it's half term this week, so it's been backwards and
Yes, it
forwards.
is. Yeah,
Kid
you've got
stuff.
you've got little monsters as well.
Yes, yeah, yeah. Do you have them? Do you have them too?
Yeah, I've got two.
Oh.
I've got one's. I've got the eldest is sort of pushing towards three in the summer,
Okay.
and then the youngest is just over one. So
So you're still right in the thick of it.
I am right in the thick of it. Yeah, it's pretty brutal.
I'll tell you what. It doesn't. It gets easier. But it doesn't.
It just changes. Right?
It just changes. Yeah. So my eldest is 12 and a bit. She's just started high school, and it's a whole brand new set of problems. A whole new set of
new ball
shit.
game.
Yeah. Yeah,
I mean, I'm looking forward to like 6 and 7s.
That's kind of where it's cool.
And then after that, puberty, and then you've got to worry about them turning 18 and leaving home and stuff, right?
Man, yeah.
It's crazy, isn't it?
There's like a golden age between like 4 and 8, which is really cool. Yeah. But anyway, first thing I actually wanted to ask you, as somebody who has an Instagram page with over 100,000 people who follow you, what's that like to manage?
It's fine actually. It's all right. Yeah. I just what you mean? Just on a
like a day to day? Are you just inundated with messages and?
Yeah. Do you know what? It's like the more you put out, the more you get back.
Yeah.
So like if you put, like a story out that's asking for attention, then. You're going to get attention, you know, so it kind of depends, really. I think actually I could, there was times when I had a lot less followers, but I was much more engaged with my audience that would have got more DMs.
Okay.
But, I do get a fair amount of chaff.
Yeah, I'm sure. I know, because I was chatting to my sister, and she runs like, she's a hairdresser, and she does like online courses for hairdressing, and she just said, it's like, my day is it's like 24 hours. And she was telling me about it because I've thought about putting some guitar courses online.
Yeah.
And she was just telling me about it. She said it's just 24 hours. It's like they're constantly messaging me, constantly doing this. You've got to keep up the Facebook group, my Instagram. It's just like this constant thing. I was like, man, that doesn't fucking sound fun.
It's like, it's business. Do you know what I mean? Like now. Yeah. So like, as far as like the beast is the whole thing is the monster, and you need to feed the monster.
Right. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So that's what's difficult. Is it's like, that's the challenging part of it. Is the content. Like the DMs are fine.
Right.
I have a problem with answering DMs. Like, great, if people, that's good.
Yeah.
It's good. People want to DM me. Great. Excellent. The hard bit is like fucking posting every day. We always like to swear. Sorry.
No, that's fine.
Pot your mouth. Yeah. That's the hard bit, and that's bare minimum.
Right.
And I see people, it's just like, man, like one post a day, that's baseline.
Yeah.
So you've got to have a post a day. Like if you're serious about building on social and you can't even post daily, it's like you fucking give up.
Right. Okay.
Don't even start. Do you know? Because it's so like, it will consume you.
Okay.
That's fine.
All right. Okay. So we kind of crossed paths after. I think it was the Mike's interview that I did, or podcast that I did. And I'd kind of seen you around. I'd seen your reels. I don't know, last year or so. And they're great. They're great. I can't remember the last one was. It was buy distortion pedals, sell it for a loss, buy it again.
yeah.
Play guitar. It's just brilliant, man. They're I just think they're so funny, so engaging. Is that did you mean to start that out, or did it just drop into your head and you thought, "I'll see that"?
That one's that's a take on another meme by a guy called Be a Man. I don't know if you've seen that account on TikTok.
No, I don't do TikTok. I'm a grown up. So
well, that's kind of how this whole thing started. Was more on TikTok for me, and then into Instagram. More off from TikTok was the first one, but no, this is a guy who does Be a Man. You know, so it's just like, if you're lost, don't ask for directions. Be a man.
Oh right, I see.
It's just a very simple like meme construct of like, you know, you can. I'm sure you can, you know, make the rest up in your own head. So I was like, oh, that's a good little meme template. And I tried to do Be a Guitarist, but it just wasn't very like Be a Guitarist. It just didn't like have any. It didn't roll off the tongue. So I was like, I'll play guitar. You know, so that's where it came from. A lot of the time, the content's just like. You know, is like just modifications of other. I mean, that's just what music is, isn't it? It's like you kind of build on the shoulders of other people, right? So it's like you see something like, oh, hang about that's. I could use that.
I can turn that.
Yeah, someone told me there was a Be a Chef, and I kind of looked. I couldn't find it. I kind of looked for it, but I think there is somewhere. There's a little subgenre of similar content about chefing. You know what I mean? So it's like these little kind of pockets of. You know, like meme culture develop all over the internet, right? It's quite... Yeah,
it's good. I mean, I think it's great that there's these little spaces to kind of be a little bit creative and have fun. I think, there's so many people that take it so seriously, and it's so... Like, you can't step off the line, and if you do, people come down on you, so...
I think that's kind of partly why my... page has been popular is the fact that it's very much not serious. You know, there's lots of serious educational content, and I try and make it like as good as it possibly can be. But there's a lot of meme and you know, comedy. I'll use loose, just stupid stuff. You know, so it's like, and that's for me, because I enjoyed making that content. The stuff that I enjoy making the most, like the stuff that makes me like just sit there and giggle at my own videos, is the stupid stuff. Yeah, I'm literally sitting there, just pissing myself, and this is so stupid. I can't wait to post this. Yeah, and then just watching the idiocy in the comments and the people who get it, and like those people trolling the people who don't get it. For me, that is just. That's what I live for with Instagram, is watching my followers trolling other people in the comments. For me, that's just like, it's perfection. It's
like winding a little car up, putting it down and letting it go, and just...
It's great. And then they fuel all your engagement in the comments. It's just the perfect little, you know, ecosystem. It's great.
Yeah, it's cool. So how are you... I mean, you've got lots of education stuff on your Instagram as well.
Sure.
Do you go out and play? Are you still out playing live gigs?
Yeah, I play
sessions,
live. Yeah.
Stuff. What do you do?
Not sessions really. Yeah, like mainly teaching. Like you know, most of my income's teaching, but playing. Yeah, so I'm taking a sort of semi hiatus, but I've been for the last 10 years playing in an original project, an Afrobeat sort of. Okay. I say Afrobeat. It's kind of Afro funk. World, kind of like a 11-piece Afrobeat kind of ensemble based in Brighton. Okay, that's been going forever, literally like over 10 years. Just
what are
like
they called?
Really, Yamaya, like YMAYA.
All right,
a little umlaut on one of the A's. We put an album out last year that was like literally taken us 10 years to actually get it out there. You know, that's how it's literally been like, have a year on, year off, year on, year off. Oh, we've written an album, let's sit on it for 2 years, let's slowly record it, and finally it's out there. It's out on Spotify, check it out.
All right, we'll do.
I'm super proud of that.
Awesome.
And then I play in a swing band, the Swing Ninjas, who are based also in Brighton, and they've been going for, you know, I joined them. Their original guitar player left, like this was a while ago. I'm not going to put the years ago. Basically, their original guitar player left after a few years, and like I didn't play. They kind of played gypsy swings, like swing jazz, kind of early sort of 30s stuff, and I didn't play that genre at all, but I knew one of the sax players from the funk stuff that I used to do, and he was like, oh, I know someone who can play guitar, like rhythm guitar, Jarvis, let's fucking train him up, basically. That's obviously his little thought process, was like, oh, I know someone who could probably do it, let's train them up. So, you know, in at the deep end.
Best way to do it.
Go and play some sort of, you know, so like I can't solo that stuff at all. Like, I'm not a gypsy jazz, but I can do a Le Pomp, and I can sit there and chug away on some chords. But yeah, so that's like, as far as live bands, like pretty wide apart, like an
Yeah.
Afrobeat band and a swing band. But those are like my main live projects. I don't really do any session stuff or historically, and then just like loads of teaching through, decades.
Yeah. Do you teach? Is it privately? Do you go out in schools? Do people come to you online?
Yeah, these days it's all online from socials. Historically, it was Perry Patetic guitar teacher in schools. That's how I started.
Okay.
So doing I first started in Sutton in Glenthorne High School.
That is just around the corner from me. I'm in Sutton.
Oh right, shit.
Yeah.
There you go.
There we are. No, Glenthorne.
Right, so I taught at Glenthorne for like long time.
Okay.
Like over a decade.
Yeah.
Long time.
Okay.
Literally fresh out of, I started there when I was like 20 or something.
Okay.
So like 2 decades ago.
Wow. Oh. Jesus. I'm at the stage now, I'm sure it's the same with you. I don't talk about years. I just talk about like chunks of time. I don't say, oh yeah, no, I did that 20 years ago. I was like, no.
I know. Like when I was trying to think about the swing, I was like, no, it was a long time ago. It was like a decade ago or something. It's just like, I'm not even going to.
Yeah, I don't like to think about it. Okay, so and how do you enjoy teaching?
Yeah, I love teaching.
Yeah.
So
I've met lots of people that do teaching and they complain about it. It's a grind and
teaching fucking 4-year-olds is a grind. Yeah, teaching privately on Zoom to people who've reached out to me, like, and typically like in that like intermediate sweet spot.
Yeah,
it's great. It's like it's good, nice work. Like people are engaged. They want to be there. That's a big difference between teaching someone who wants to be in the room.
Yeah.
Compared to like someone who's just there because they're not in maths, or even worse because their mum wants them because mummy wants little Tarquin to fucking have classical guitar lessons, and you're like, all right, and he's 4.
He's not playing at home.
And exactly, and it's like, well, little Tarquin can't even pluck a string.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean it has its ups and downs, I guess, but yeah, I'm the same. I really enjoy teaching, especially when you get someone that's just on it and they just practice and they're playing at home, and it's just you don't really have to work. It's just there you go. Here's a thing, go do it.
You just need to guide people. Like I think, like actually, like it's probably like it's my strength really as a musician is my teaching. Like I'm not. And that's going back to Instagram and stuff. It's like people aren't following me because they're fucking watching my videos going, wow, this guy's amazing guitar. Some people, but like, there's so many amazing musicians now on socials. It's like the standard's so high. So it's like, how are you going to cut through? It's like, well, you need to either have good educational content or or stupid stuff, that's going to like clickbait kind of stuff. If you want to like just wow people with your skills and get 100,000 followers, it's like, you better be fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, you got to be seriously good. The standard's so high. So then it's like, well, like my actual strength really as a musician is my ability to convey an idea so that you can understand it. I think really, personally, that's probably what it is,
Yeah. And as a player and a teacher, what's your take on practicing and improving and getting better? Let's go with you personally, first of all.
How I did it?
Yeah, or how do you do it? Do you still do it?
I haven't got time.
No.
I don't practice.
You don't practice at all?
I mean, I might as well be 0 at the minute. I don't have time. I honestly don't have time anymore.
Yeah.
Like maybe... And if I'm playing, it's like it's certainly not practice. Like I get some hours in on the guitar, but I wouldn't consider it practice. Like I play like I'm playing all every evening. I'm teaching all the time, but even then you're not playing. No, I don't practice a lot at the minute, just because I've got 2 kids and I teach a lot, and I look after them in the day, and then I'm working in the afternoons, and then by the time I'm finished, it's like. This time it's like 9 o'clock, and then and then it's like I've got other things that I want to do as well. My times are so chewed up, but yeah. Okay. And then if I do play, it's not practice. It's just I'm playing fucking some Steely Dan arrangement or something.
Nice, but I would say that's still practice. That's still playing.
Yeah.
It's still.
Yes.
No, you might pull out a chart or something. Go, let's have a crack at this, or let's have a look at that. To me, that's still.
Yeah,
practice. As long as you're not sitting down and playing Wonderwall, you're okay.
No, yeah, I guess so. But I wouldn't. Yeah, I mean, compared to like what it takes to get to a certain level.
Yeah,
it's not like dedicated or it's not focused. It's not that focused, shall we say?
Okay. So how do you approach it with your students?
I think it changes. Everyone's so different, and I think that's like like the beauty of teaching, and it's never the same situation, right? So it's like everyone's different. Some people are like. Some people love the theory, like I like to teach like from a very open. I want to make people better musicians. Not guitar player. I'm not about teaching you to be a guitarist.
Right.
That's like I'm about teaching you to understand music.
Yeah.
That's what I think, because like that's the hard shit. That's the fucking the golden egg. Because you can learn Monkey See, Monkey Do. You can learn Pentatonic Box 1 and 4 and House of Blues. And like, it's not hard.
Yeah.
When people come to me and they want to learn that, it's like, just fucking go and watch an Andy guitar or Justin guitar video. There's hundreds of them. Or one of mine. Or like, there's so many. It's not... Yeah. The hard bit is like, understanding how all songs are like the national number system, whatever we call it, the number system for chords, and how all music just fit. It's like that's what you need to understand, how harmony works. And that's what I'm into, like trying to teach people from that holistic kind of perspective, which is what I think where they get the value. Yeah.
So I had, do you know Martin Goulding?
Yes, the name rings. It was at ICM.
Yeah, ICMP, I think it is, and he did guitar techniques and everything. And I still have lessons with him, but I went through a phase of having some really hardcore lessons with him. Really, like
guy.
Yeah. Really tightened up my technique. And I had a lesson. It was one day, and I was like, I'd really like to have a learn of this solo. And he went, all right, well, go and do it. I was like, can we do it? He's like, no, I don't teach repertoire.
Yeah, great. Yeah, fucking brilliant.
I was like, really? He said, yeah, just do that on your own. You don't need me for that. You've been a pro player for 20. I was like, holy fucking shit. He said, yeah, I don't teach any repertoire to any of my students unless they're like a complete beginner, but I don't get complete beginners. But I'll teach you how to brush up your technique. I'll teach you about harmony. I'll teach you just how, like you said, how to be a better musician.
Yeah.
And this was about 3 years ago. And it just changed my approach to teaching, just spun it. I was like, right. So and now what I do is I get students up to a stage where they can go on YouTube, go onto Google, find a song that they want to learn and teach it themselves.
Yeah.
And now when they come in, they sit down, I'll just go through my pad and I'll just pull a chart out. I went, there you go. I'll give you 10 minutes. Go through all those chords. And then we're going to jam along to it.
Right.
And... that's kind of that's what gigging players do.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it kind of revolutionized my approach to teaching.
That's cool. But it just takes that little spin on it.
And I now feel really bad for everyone who I taught for 18 years. I
don't think it's all a development process, but there's not, if you teach the repertoire well and you dig into like the bits that they need to take from the repertoire, do you know what I mean? Like typically I won't teach it's like like you say, you don't teach full songs. You just need to dig in like, oh, here's an example of what we want to, I'll teach a concept and then it'll be like, right, well, let's look at, here's a song that uses it. There's a song that goes 2-3-2-3, Moondance, fucking Van Morrison. Look, that's an A Dorian. It's 2-3. For example, rather than going, hey, let's learn
the whole thing.
Let's learn that. So it's about finding those little nuggets of, the whole thing as well is like finding the things that people are going to understand, right? Explaining it, because people don't understand things the same.
Yeah, that's true.
So you need to look at like multiple ways to explain the same thing sometimes.
I think that's where you kind of good teachers really sort of are in their own little world. Bad teachers will just keep throwing the same shit at you.
Yeah.
And if you can think, right, how do I explain what a Dorian mode is differently but the same? Because they've not done it because they don't grasp it this way.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's cool. In fact, I had a student come in who was just really struggling with strumming.
Yeah.
And I just got him to play the opening bar or the opening couple of bars to That's Entertainment by The Jam.
Oh yeah.
It just has that dun, dun,
oh
dun,
yeah.
I was like, you just got to get a really quick flick.
A little get the snap.
Yeah, and he'd been working on it for a couple of years, not a couple of years, couple of weeks, and he's just coming back and he's like, no, I'm just going to get in it. I was like, right, okay. And I was like, no, we're not going to learn the rest of the song. That's enough.
Yeah, that's all you need. That's all you needed.
That's all you need.
That's what you needed. Yeah, it's funny, right? Because like, probably the hardest thing to teach is strumming and rhythm, I would say.
Yeah.
So also it's the bit that no one really wants to learn.
Yep.
So that's why it's so tough to teach it.
I think
like, it's a fucking hard sell.
There are some people that just get it and they can just lock in and their arm just locks in. You're like, right, this is going to be easy. And then when you get the ones that are struggling and it's like, it's like,
the problem is you have to break it down to like, and then once you're like subdividing beat by beat, 1 E, and it's like it's lost any like context, and then they're just doing it. They're doing it by robotics, like, and then it's like, it's tough. But that's the art of you just have to figure out how to get that little break.
Yeah. People, I saw a great little video. I think it was Andy Guitar did it. It said, imagine you've got a feather super glued to your finger and you're trying to get rid of it, and you got. I was like, because that's how you do that funk thump. That funk. Oh yeah.
That's quite a good one. Yeah. That's it. So you pick up these little tips and tricks from other people as well. That's the joy of it all, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So also we were at the same college at different times. I think you're probably about the 10th person that I've had on that went to the ACM.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't. I've seen you had Pete on, right, and obviously Mike.
Yeah.
I haven't seen all your guests, but who else have you had from?
I had Aaron, who teaches bass there at the moment.
Oh, okay.
Brian, who's a friend of mine, Brian Flack.
That sounds vaguely familiar.
He does a band called Coyote. Does lots of cruise ships.
Okay, yeah, I'm sure that.
And I've got a guy called Rob who currently teaches guitar there at the moment. He's coming on hopefully next week.
Nice.
But yeah, so what was your time? From I know. I got nobody from BIM has come on.
BIM basically is ACM, isn't it? Let's be honest. So well, certainly the original. Yeah, I was there old school. I was my first year was the OG building.
That was the old Surrey University.
Building. No, it was like just some little tiny building over the road from. What was it? I can't even remember what it was. It was just some tiny little place, like miles, or like just in Guildford somewhere. I can't even remember the street or. So
what did you study when you were there?
I did the full gamut. I did the diploma, higher diploma, and then the degree. And
Jesus.
Yeah, I know. In for the long haul. So diploma and higher diploma were basically the same course, right?
Mm.
Pretty much.
Okay.
So they totally stuffed me there. Basically, my brother did the higher diploma. He's a guitar player and a guitar teacher too.
Okay.
So he went to do the higher diploma. I was like, I want to do that too. So I was like, I went and did the diploma.
Yeah.
And then I was like, well, I'll do the higher diploma. And that's the same course. And then they're like, oh, we've got this new degree. And I was like, great. 2 years degree, get that. Sign me up.
Yeah.
So it's a compact one. And so I did that, and then I was like barely 20, and I had a degree. And I was like, "Come on, then."
What's next? So, what was your time? What was it like there?
Yeah, I had a great time. Not that I particularly applied myself, but it was good fun.
Who was teaching at the time?
Teachers were great. Teachers were fucking amazing. It's like Pete, Guthrie, Dave Kay.
Yeah.
Okay,
the big
just
four.
Like basically the three best fucking guitar players in the UK.
Was Jamie there?
And Jamie
Yeah.
Humphries, he was there. I think he started the second year. I don't think he was there in that first year. He started on the when it moved to the Rodborough buildings, whatever it's called, above the Wetherspoons.
Above the pub, which is a great place to
put
put
the pub, yeah, exactly.
to put a college.
Yeah, so I think that was the higher diploma must have been, I think I did my first year and then it moved. They moved locations to the big, the Death Star, and it moved there, and then did the diploma and did the first degree there.
Okay.
And it was all Eric Roach.
Yeah. God bless him.
There was unbelievable faculty.
Yeah, it was incredible. I mean, it was incredible when I went. I think when I went, when I finished, because I did the higher diploma.
Yeah.
I applied to do the degree, and they said, "No, your sight reading shit. You can't come on." And I was like, I was a little bit let down, because I was like, I'd like to have more lessons with all those teachers, but they all left that year and went to BIM.
Yes.
So I was like, oh fucking hell, I dodged a bullet.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So... If you paid, because you're only there for them. It's not like you're there to get lessons from.
Yeah.
Bobby Jarvis Jr. You'd be like, who the fuck's this guy? Do you know what I mean? I wanted Guthrie.
Yeah.
So it was incredible, really. And back then it was all, I'm sure you've had this conversation. It was all like, all you had was guitar techniques or guitarist or whatever. Yeah. And you'd see, everyone knew how amazing Guthrie was. So it's just like, what? I can go and have lessons with Dave Kay and Guthrie and Pete.
Sign me up.
Yeah, that's what I can. That can be like, or I can go to fucking St Austell College and do a BTEC. It's I think I'll go to ACM. So did that, and it was great. I mean, it was
What was your experience when you first what was your first jaw drop moment from Guthrie?
Oh God! I mean, I was kind of already prepared. I think so. I'd listened to so much of his stuff on the magazines.
Yeah.
So
I wasn't. I hadn't really heard of him. I was like, who?
Oh no, yeah, I was fully aware of like how ridiculous he was from the magazines. Okay. But to see it in person was shocking. The most shocking thing that I remember from Guthrie was the best Guthrie story was. Do you remember the white squires that were on the wall?
Yeah.
Did you ever play one of those things?
No.
They were They were like the worst guitar. You've taught in schools. You imagine the worst guitar in the worst Perry room of the worst school. Just the worst guitar ever. He picked one up and be like, oh my God, this is awful.
Yeah.
And he came in one day and he was like, oh man, I forgot my guitar. Like literally came in and he was like, oh man, I forgot my guitar. And it's just like literally pulled one of these white squires off the wall and just delivered just did Guthrie stuff.
Yeah.
And everyone's just like, well, that sounds, it's like, that's amazing. I remember every guitar player, like, he put it back on the wall and everyone just like basically went up to his guitar just like it was like, and it's just like, he basically couldn't play it.
Yeah.
And it's just like, okay, like he's just been like, just melting it. And you're like,
damn.
And that's when you realise, you're like, oh, okay.
Everything's in his fingers.
Yeah. When it's just like, you just, it was, that was shocking. That was like, okay, you can actually play like that on something that bad.
Yeah.
Was quite mind-boggling. But otherwise, it was just insane.
Yeah, I heard a story. I didn't see this, and I don't know, I can't attest to how true it is, but Jamie told us a story that Yngwie Malmsteen came in and did a clinic.
Okay.
He turned up late, drunk, with some girl on his arm, and Jamie just said he just proceeded to just almost take the piss out of students. Like he'd get people up to come and jam with him and would just start obliterating them, like just burying them. Yeah. And they'd all leave like their tail between their legs. And apparently all the faculty turned around to Guthrie and just sort of gave him a nod. And Guthrie got up on stage and apparently just fucking set fire to this guy.
Really? Just destroyed him?
And he told when Jamie told us his story, it was like, man, what a fucking legend.
Yeah, I mean, he's got the ability to do it. That's the thing, And it wouldn't have exactly been... it would have been fun for him.
I guess so.
Well, that's the thing about Guthrie. Like it's it's just pure. It's just channeled, isn't it? There's no barrier. But the thing that I get from Guthrie is like that kind of it's fun. like you can feel, like it's his. You can sense the enjoyment from his playing.
Yeah.
I tell you who's a great example of this, who's also incredible, is Greg Koch. Like he's got so much like character and fun in his playing, and it really comes across. And it's like, you know, just in his music. And I think that's kind of what a lot of people are missing, you know, from their playing, is that kind of emotional, like, you know, it's always, you can always tell, like, Guthrie's having a whale of a time when he's playing.
You can see it. I'm sure you've seen it in like clinics. Like an ambulance will go past, and you hear, and he'll go,
yeah. Exactly. The whole, like, the sound is just fun, like the soundscapes. You know, like some people, it's like, oh, I'm going to play my fucking Mixolydian flat 6. It's just like, all right, yes, let's go to sleep. Sleepy time.
Yeah, but then that brings us right back to, you know, what we were saying about you and your Instagram page, just having fun with it. And there's so much of that I think is missing in music and in social media.
Yeah,
you're not allowed to have fun. Everything has to be serious.
Yeah, especially that's, you know, guitar seems to have suffered from that terribly. I don't know why. But...
yeah, I mean, given that I think it's such a fun instrument to play.
Yeah, music's supposed to be fun, right? I mean, that's why I never got into music to, like, be serious about the stuff. Do you know what I mean? So I don't want to do an office job or something boring. It's like, you know, that's why we wanted to be musicians, right?
Yeah. So how did you get into it? What was your first steps into music and guitar?
I guess, like I was saying before, having an older brother who was into it. You know, I wanted to play drums originally. Like, that's what I told my parents when I was 10 or whatever. I was like, I want a drum set. And they were like...
Really? Why does every guitar player want to play drums? Because I want to play drums. I want to play drums.
There you go. So I think you know, my parents were sensible and thought, well, drum set, it's big, it's noisy. Your brother's got a guitar and he's having lessons. We'll get you a guitar.
Yeah.
So they got me a guitar, and then you know, it was the golden age of grunge and good, you know, we had good back in the day. We had good guitar music to listen to. But it's true, man. Do you know what I mean? It was like when I was 11, when it was like 1994.
Yeah.
You know, like what was, you know, it was like amazing.
Soundgarden.
It was amazing. Everyone was listening to, you know, that, or like, you know, it's just like there's so much good guitar music. So it's just like everyone was. You know, everyone was playing. All my friends play guitar. It was, I know, I've learnt this riff. Show me a riff. You know, I've learnt this riff. Show me a riff. Like, you know, that's, you know, if you didn't have you know, that's how you learn. You learn from your peers and from sharing, and you know, that's kind of, so that's how I kind of got into it, was through like rock and grunge and hanging out in the music studio and with my mates and playing in this. You know, we had some bands that we played in. It's all the same people in different bands.
Yeah,
did that, and then straight to ACM when I was like 16.
Wow. So was the schools that you were in, were they very accommodating of you just hanging out in the music room and playing and jamming?
Yeah, at high school, you know, at secondary school, they were fine. We had like my form room was the music suite. I guess that was quite fortuitous. Yeah. So, you know, as a separate block was the music suite, and, you know, that was my form room. So that was good. That was kind of, I had justification to be in the kind of that area, I guess. And then, you know, that was where, like, the, you know, people who weren't complete fucking twats. Do you know what I mean? Like,
that was your safe haven.
Yeah. It was like, all right, you know, the sort of the all right people hang out over here. We'll hang out in the music department, basically. Yeah. So, you know, yeah.
Okay. And if you had to do it all over again, is there anything you'd do differently?
I mean, you know, I guess I'm a bit of a hippie. Like, no. Like, I think everything happens for a reason, you know? And like everything will work itself out, you know. So I'm a bit. So where you are now is just a result of all the steps that you've taken. Yeah, I'm where I'm meant to be at the minute, you know. Yeah. I think, you know, but would I go if I was going back? I mean, like, what? To those exact situations, or like, now if it was me now with this technology, you know, because it's such a different. I guess. I mean, if you had to retrace my steps, let's say if you had to teach yourself the saxophone or something, it's like, okay, so I've now got to learn a completely different instrument. What's the best way, the quickest way to get me up and playing? That's such a different. I mean, I think, you know, as an educator yourself, is like, you know. And this is something that that a lot of people don't click with, and I think a lot of teachers don't click with, is that you and I understand how to learn because you teach. So you know how to learn something because, you teach people how to learn stuff, whereas some people don't know how to learn things.
Yeah.
So it's like, because they've never taught themselves anything, and they've never got good at anything. So they literally don't know how to get good at something.
Yeah.
And it's, the answer, unfortunately, is the answer that you don't want to hear.
Go on.
Time.
Yeah. Yeah.
No one got good overnight, you
No.
know. Even Guthrie, Guthrie put the fucking hours in. Yeah, he was gifted, but so it's just like, if I was going to go teach myself saxophone, I'd put the time in. But going back to saying what would I do differently? I was very lucky to I grew up in Cornwall. Talking about the music suite thing. So if I stayed in Cornwall and didn't leave and carried on, went down, there would have been no music career for me. Maybe I could have taught in schools potentially in Cornwall. I have done actually, but that as a career path would have been pretty dead end. So I did well to get out. If I was going to go back and give myself any advice, I'd say don't fucking spend 20 years teaching in Glenthorne, you fucking idiot. Do something. When now it's fine. I'm 40. It's like teaching's great, and that's the thing. I've been full circle with teaching. Do you know what I mean? I've been where you said it's a grind. I fucking hate it. Blah blah blah. When I was teaching schools, definitely I've hated it. And I've had and I've been borderline sacked and said look, we're going to, and Glenthorne, they were like, look, we're going to fucking sack you unless you sort your shit out. You're down to 1 day. You're keeping 1 day. Yeah. We're canning a load of your pupils and giving, and I was like, whoa, that was such a wake up call for me. And if anything, that was really the spark that blew everything open, really. But if I was going to give myself advice, I'd be like, go risk heavy in your 20s. Do you know what I mean? Stop fucking... Yeah. Why was I thinking, I'm just going to... Well, the reason I did it is because it was good money at the time. My mates were doing shit jobs, and I was getting paid 27 quid an hour, and I thought I was I made it. Yeah. But the reality is, then you just get locked into that, and 15 years later, you're still teaching, and your mates have gone on to do better things, or not even your mates, people have. So it's be a bit more risk adverse and chase stuff when you can. Yeah. Because now I can't. I've got no chance. It's I got lucky that I just about managed to claw it all together before I had kids. Yeah. But you know what I mean? If my Instagram didn't blow up 4 years ago or whatever, or my TikTok, I didn't quite get to the point where I was able to teach remotely and do what I can now. I wouldn't be able to do that. I don't have the time anymore to build that. I would have been stuck. So if I was now, I'd be I'd still be teaching in a school, and I might feel trapped. And whereas now I feel like I've got options. So I managed to build a following or whatever. So I feel super grateful that the timing, like I say, stuff works out for a reason. I'm super lucky that it's kind of panned out. Do you think it's luck? Do you really think it's luck, or do you just think it's you took opportunities when they turned up? You make your own luck. Yeah. It's luck's a weird one, isn't it? I don't know. That's such a deep question. It is, yeah. But no, I mean, I've always been kind of the thinking that you always reap what you sow. If you put stuff in, if you front load your 20s and you put all the work in, that will pay off dividends when you hit your 40s. Yeah, absolutely. I personally don't believe in luck. I think that you make your own luck, and luck is just another word for, you put the work in, like you said, you put the time in, you put the work in, you did. I think it's about recognize, like you say about the right timing. It's about recognizing opportunities and taking them. Yeah. When you get given them, because they're all over the place. Yeah. These little, and bad at, the good fruit and the bad fruit. Yeah, there's always, and sometimes you make the fucking... That's what life's about, man, is making decisions. Sometimes we make bad decisions. I've made plenty of bad decisions, as many as anyone, but I think, overall, it's, I think I've panned out just about right. I think you found a sweet spot. Long may it continue, but that's the other thing is it's fickle, right? 5-10 years, like, you know, people aren't going to be on Instagram in 10 years' time, you know. So like,
I guess
where they're going to be. It's just like, so that's a kind of, you have to think, how is that going to evolve as things change and
look at MySpace.
You know, yeah, exactly.
No one uses MySpace anymore.
You know, things evolve, don't they? So it's like, are you going to be there? Like, how relevant are you going to, like, I'm going to be older then, you know? Like, does that change stuff? Do you know what I mean? So it's just like,
just front load it now and let it.
Yeah, well, that's what I certainly front loaded those first last few years. I front loaded definitely 2020 to 2023. I kind of, sort of, now I'm just kind of rejigging all that stuff. I'm lucky because I've made all that content, so now I can rework old content. And post and
does it now does it generate income? Your Instagram?
Not. I mean, all my teaching is from all my income essentially is from Instagram.
So but the actual account doesn't generate revenue for you.
It's not no, I don't get money for views, and I don't do brand deals. And I don't sell stuff just because I might eat my words and do it, but I fucking hate it. I don't want to sell courses. I don't, maybe I'd sell a course. Yeah. Maybe. But just like people playing fucking lava guitars. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, if I see another person playing a lava guitar, I'm literally just going to, oh my God, those horrible plastic boxes. Do you know what I mean? Just like, have you got one?
No.
just sitting again.
Actually, the sponsor of this video is You Love a Guitar.
No, can you imagine? Oh, you'd have to edit it out. But you just for stuff like that, no, I don't know. Actually, on TikTok, you can earn money from views. So I do generate, not a lot, but a small income from TikTok views.
That's cool. I mean, it's good.
But absolutely. But so my thing is, I use it to drive. People to my account, and then I sell myself, essentially.
Yeah, like a prostitute.
Essentially like a musical prostitute.
Yeah. And so, what's we talked briefly? You touched briefly on the future. Have you given much thought to the next 5 to 10 years, or are you just like fucking? I've got 2 small kids. I'm thinking about next week, and that's it.
Yeah, well, there is an element of that. I mean, for me, I want to do more of my long form content. I'd love to. Like, I've spoken about doing podcast content before. Yeah. Again, it's just like talk's cheap. Yeah. It's like doing it is a completely different game. So it's just like
you'll get more time. When they get older, you'll get more time.
Well, that's it. So. I mean, but generally, like, I would really love to put more effort into my YouTube. Yeah. But the longer content means more hours.
In the editing suite.
Yeah, it's brutal. So I think long form. It's a funny one. Basically, I'm just going to keep on pounding wherever it goes. Do you know what I mean? So like Instagram and TikTok for now. Work on YouTube, and then if anything crops up, I'll be there. I'll be putting my content. I mean, the thing is, it's evolved to be. The reason why I was lucky is because. With content is like TikTok was my main, so I started making content for TikTok. Yeah, and that's what blew up first, and then Instagram conveniently turned into TikTok. Yeah, so it's then like all my content is made for Instagram. Yeah, now because it was made for TikTok, so it's all like I was way ahead of people with vertical content and captions and all this stuff because. That was what you needed to do on TikTok. So it's just like, well, that's what we do on TikTok. So I was doing it. And then people were so slow onto Reels, man. Like, Reels been around for fucking ever. And people are like, I've just started posting Reels. It's like...
I did that 4 years ago.
It's like, you fucking... What? I'm trying to grow. It's like, mate, they were blowing up when they first came out. Do you know what I mean? It's like, post Reels. And everyone's like, what do I need to do? It's like, post Reels. And it's like, I post a couple. And it's just like... Just make loads of them. Just because they're going they're just giving you reach, and it's like it's so hard to get that on Instagram. Normally, it's like if they're giving it away for free, then give it to me.
Yeah.
You know? So,
if you're not going to do it, I'll do it.
Yeah, and same with YouTube Shorts, right? So like, people. I'm sure there's probably like, I'm not really into the YouTube world that much. I'm sure there's like dinosaurs who do the long form who just like, I don't want to do Shorts.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's accounts blowing up on Shorts.
Yeah.
Just churning it out.
Yeah.
Churning out, and that's TikTok. Like everything's just turned into TikTok, basically. Like short form, vertical scroll, super engaging content. Now the irony is that TikTok's going to long form content.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I don't keep abreast of it. I don't. Especially, I tried TikTok and I was like, no.
You need to get on TikTok.
Yes.
I mean, the thing is, like, like if you want to, like, you've got I've seen your content. Like it's like you're going to chop this up and put it into reels. So it's like just post it on TikTok. Take you 2 minutes.
All right, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll do it for 6 months.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the thing. Just
I'll hammer it.
If you've got the content already made for Instagram, you might as well post it on TikTok because you don't really have to do anything to it.
Yeah.
It's not like you have to like change the copy. Like before, you might have had to like adjust the copy a little bit to suit the platform.
Format. Yeah.
But even now, it's basically the same thing.
It's just the same thing. Just do that. All right. Okay, man. Well, it was a real pleasure to chat with you.
Oh yeah, likewise,
thank you.
Man.
Thank you for coming on. It's
Sorry for ranting at you.
No, it's fine, man. It's fine. So yeah, I'll just say thank you for coming on. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure, dude. Yeah, just tag me up on anything you put up, and I'll share it. Basically,
Will do. All right. Thanks very much.
Cool. Nice chatting.